great opportunity for us to come home in front of our family, fans, Raider Nation, the Black Hole.
Raiders! Goddamn right.
What is up, Raider Nation? Welcome to the Just Raiders Baby podcast. I'm your host. I am Jay Raider, and on the show today we are talking Broncos versus Raiders. What a fucking game, y'all! Uh, like I said, um, it was gonna be a nail biter. So, but yes, it was a crazy one out in Vegas. Final score was 21 to 19 Raiders. So yeah, it just was fucking crazy. But yeah, so welcome to the show, guys. This is my reaction show. Obviously, I kind of knew what was going kind of more or less to happen. I don't know 100% obviously, but we can make wild assumptions here and kind of figure out more or less, what's going to happen. So, um, yeah, that it was a crazy game, especially towards the end, with Minshew going out. But before I go any further, I just put it on Instagram. So if you guys are watching the live show or you're on YouTube, uh, breaking news: Gardner Minshew is out for the season. He actually broke his fucking collarbone, and he is done. So that is the last time we will ever see Gardner Minshew in a Raider uniform. I don't know, bittersweet, but whatever. He's gone. He's officially gone. So the the next one up, next man up, will be Desmond Ritter. AOC is still probably going to be out another week. I don't know. Maybe he gets moved up for the Chiefs game. I don't know. Honestly, that's kind of more or less a doctor's call, and depending how he feels, if he's able to go ahead and um, you know get comfortable with throwing the ball, then we might see him on Friday. It is a short week for the Raiders, having that Black Friday game in Kansas City. So it's I don't know, drama as always. It never goes to fail. I mean, though we were fucking tanking, there's still drama going on. But yes, Gardner Minshew's out for the season, and most likely that's the last time we're gonna see him in a Raider uniform. So uh, count your blessings. Christmas came early. Gardner's done. For everybody who's hating Gardner, I'm not a fan of Gardner, so it's whatever. It's kind of bittersweet, whatever. You don't want to see anybody get hurt, obviously, and we just didn't want to see him in a Raider uniform. We didn't want him to play for us, but obviously we don't want him to fuck up his career and that be it. So obviously with any injury, there's potential of that happening, but hopefully, he comes around and he's able to find the team that best fits him. But yes, at least with us, he's done because he ain't coming back next year. That's for sure. Though I think we paid him up to next year. I'm not entirely 100% sure. I'm not going to speculate on that. But most likely, even if we did, I don't think he ain't coming back. So yeah, uh, Raider will be in and we'll move forward. But if you guys are on the live stream, make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit that subscribe button down below. I am trying to get up to 50 subscribers, so make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like and subscribe to the podcast, support it. If you guys are on Instagram, I will try to do my best to answer your guys' questions on there. It's a little hard because I am also um, doing it on YouTube. So I would suggest probably jumping on YouTube and subscribing and then getting on the chat. And then if you guys have any questions, feel free, please make sure you hit up the chat because chat lives do matter. So super important that you guys hop on there, let your voices be heard. I don't know what everybody feels about that. I mean, in fact, we didn't think Gardner was going to be fucking gone this quick. I'm pretty sure I wasn't the only one who thought he was going to play out the season and he was going to leave after that. But yet here we are. He's done. So I don't know how anybody feels about that. That's a crazy thing that fucking happened towards the end, and then you had Desmond Ritter trying to mount a comeback, and then at the end, just everything just got fucked up, and so yeah, it didn't look too great at the end, but hey, it is what it is. A positive note from this is that we move up in the tank order. So yes, on the draft order, we move up. We actually let me post that up. Let me get up on there so y'all can see, and I will share my screen. But we did move up in the draft order, so it's a beautiful fucking thing that it's a blessing in disguise that this has happened, and so you know obviously we all want to go back next year. We want the elite quarterback, and we don't want to deal with this anymore. But yes, this is currently the draft order. We are number 3. It's Jacksonville, the Giants, who lost today. They lost to Tampa Bay, I believe, and then third we got swept by Denver. It sucks. I have mixed feelings about it. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm happy and I'm sad because fuck, I hate losing to fucking Denver, and that's always a locking game for us usually, and then having us being swept this season is kind of a little hard to swallow, but it is what it is, right? But we go up to number 3, and I was telling y'all, I think we move up to 2 or 3, and then here we are, 2 or 3 in the draft order, and we get to play Jacksonville and a few weeks. So that will be interesting, and that's going to be probably a pivotal game for all the wrong reasons. It's going to be a pivotal game because we're trying to move up in the draft order. That's what we're really concentrating on. And though AP will never see it, there or anybody in the Raider organization will officially say we are trying to move up in the draft. So um, so far it looks good. Yes, it's the 6th straight loss. I'm sorry, we lost. At least it says here we lost 7. I think we did lose about 7. I lost count, to be honest with you, and that's not a statistic that I normally want to keep. So whatever, will go 7th straight loss, and yeah, I mean it hurts, but it is what it is. But we gotta look towards the future. I mean this this season is the wash, obviously, and um, we just gotta take it with a grain of salt here, and you know, just look forward towards the future. So, um, yeah, I mean, let's go over the game, but like I was saying before, it was gonna take us scoring consistently in the second half, which we failed to do. So that's why we failed again to score 20 plus points. We came close. We hit 19, but that is not 20, right? So let's go ahead and dive into that a little bit. Obviously, Broncos started off okay in the first quarter. They hit their field goal. We went off on a run in the second quarter. We put up 13, and I thought we're rock and rolling going into halftime. If you guys tuned in on Instagram, you guys heard me saying that. you know, we're in decent shape, and there was areas of improvement, obviously, but we were on pace to possibly get a win, and but it all counted for the Raiders to be able to go ahead and score consistently in the second half, which they failed to do. And Denver ended up going on their run, and which I called. I said Denver's going to go on a run, um, and so we need to have enough points to be able to cover that, right? And I also called Minshew was going to go ahead and bust a turnover because he usually does at least one per game, and that's exactly what happened without fail. Uh, but we didn't score any. We scored basically 6 points in the second half, which definitely was not going to cut it. Um, we fell way short. We needed at least um, 12 more 12 more points for us to be able to pull out the win. And based on our scoring, we're not able to score over 20 points apparently. And so here we are. We have a 29-19 score, um, and Denver defense came up clutch when they needed to be. So it is what it is. I was texting the Raider Connection group. We have a group on Instagram, and you know, uh, I was saying that's you know, it's kind of bittersweet that we lost to Denver, but apparently the injury bug also hit the offense, and now Minshew's out. So, but hopefully AOC comes back in a week or two. But obviously, I don't think he's gonna be coming back by Friday. Just being honest, I don't see him coming back. That's gonna be pretty hard for him to come back that soon. I'm pretty sure he's gonna come back by the Bucks game. If that, it all depends how he does in practice, how comfortable he feels. So Ritter might be in for the next like 2 to 3 weeks. This might not be just a one time game type of thing. It might be going on for multiple weeks. Um, it just depends, and also if this kid gets hot, that they might keep him on longer. So it everything is kind of up in the air at this point. But you know, one thing's for sure is just that the season is basically a wash. I don't see us really doing too much. Definitely out of the playoffs, but um, for sure, just want to keep everybody focused on the draft and you know the off season. We have over $100 million in salary cap. We're gonna pick up, you know, key players here. Um, Obviously, we have a need for offensive coordinator. I don't think Scott Turner is going to stick around um, and stay on as the offensive coordinator with Norv. If he does, I don't know, man. I'll pull out my fucking hair if that happens because I don't think he's going to be able to handle a young elite quarterback coming into the league. Um, he's gonna definitely need somebody else with more talent. So at least with more experience in the offensive coordinator role. So yeah, Beth, I don't know. That's gonna be tough. But yes, we have 100 million plus in salary cap, so we're gonna pick up key players. This offseason, guys, is gonna be exciting because um, you're just gonna see players being picked up left and right, more on the offensive side. You'll see some on the defensive side as well, but I think now AP going into his second season, especially if he stays on, which I think he's gonna stay on. Um, you're gonna see more players being picked up offensively than defensively, but we still need depth there. There's no way around it. Now, you might pick up free agents. You can do a mixture of some drafts. Um, so there's that. But yes, definitely need some depth. Obviously, there's going to be some people leaving at the end of the year defensively as well. So that's going to be interesting on who's staying and who's going. I don't know. I think Diablo. I think you resign him. I would stay with Polomao. Spillane, you got to resign. That's a fucking no brainer there. Jack Jones. I don't know, man. I'm on the fence about him. I would resign him because that dude has moxie, and when he's on, and when he sucks. And but that's the thing. If AP stays on, definitely, I think they should resign him because I feel like AP has a better control of him. But if AP's gone, I don't think they should resign him. But he's a threat. He's still a threat. I mean, that kid's out there, and so um, you know, he always possesses that interception threat, and they almost had a few chances this game, and unfortunately they fell short on that. But yeah, man, those are the those are the people who I think they should stay on defensively. Adam Butler has been playing pretty good too, so that might be another person that stays on as well. We'll see. Offensively, ain't being a lot of people who's going to stay on offensively. For sure, I would keep Jacoby Myers. Um, I would keep him on. Obviously, you have Brock Brown is going to be here for the next few years. JPJ is going to be here for the next few years because they just got drafted, so they're here for at least 3 or 4 or 5 years. Same thing for Glaze, but maybe you let go of Andre James. I don't know. I ain't gonna be mad at that. I ain't gonna be mad at that. Maybe release him in the offseason. I don't know. The way that JPJ's been playing center, and that's his natural position, he's just fucking balling out. Though he's a rookie, and um, they're gonna make rookie mistakes. It's granted. It's part of the game. They're gonna go through trying to get a grasp of how referees call the game and shit like that. So, um, but definitely you want to create more depth in the offensive line that has to be repaired. I would probably definitely get some backs. I don't know if Zamir White stays with us. Maybe Madison. Abdullah's probably gone. Who else? I don't see Turner sticking around. Mayer might be gone. I don't know where he's at contractually, so he might be gone at the end of the season. Um, so yeah, we'll just see kind of what happens off this. Obviously, Minshew's gone. Britt is probably going to be gone. AOC might stick around, and I've heard that they like him enough where they might keep him around and just kind of see how he develops. So, um, but yeah, Minshew and Ritter are going to probably be gone by in the offseason for sure. Minshew because he just fucking played god awful this season. So, yeah, so that's for him. Got fucked up, but it is what it is, and we move on. But yeah, so talking about the draft because that's kind of what we're focusing on. I did catch the games this weekend. Uh, Cam Ward won decisively their game over Wake Forest, and I was I catch the tail end of it, unfortunately, but I know they hit like 35 points. Um, their game on Saturday, so let me pull them up here real quick. But I think Cam Ward was really the only one who won their games on Saturday. They won 42-14. So yeah, they won blowout. Um, Ole Miss got upsetted in their game. So Jackson Dart, and I watched the tail end of that game versus Florida, and eesh, man, they try to come up, they try to mount a comeback, but unfortunately, yeah, they at the end was pretty fucking shitty, and they lost 24-17. So, um, and then I don't know if you guys watched that Kansas versus Colorado Buffaloes, and that was a rough game. And I think that game, and I was saying on Instagram earlier, that I think the Chiefs refs stayed behind to call that game because there was a lot of missed calls. There was a lot of questionable missed calls in that game. There was a game where there was a play where Shador got trampled on, and they didn't fucking call any personal fouls on that fucking incident. But there's a lot of holds. There was a lot of PI that wasn't called. So against the Buffalo, like against Kansas City, um, and so I was scratching my head a lot during this game. I think they could have, if the officiating would have been fair, I think that game would have been way closer, and maybe Colorado could have pulled it off. But they did lose. They lost 37-21 in that game. They did mount a comeback, but yeah, with when you're trying to not only overcome a tough defense as in Kansas, I was gonna say Kansas City, Kansas, and you're fighting the refs, it's hard. It's hard to overcome. But Shador did try to keep his composure most of the game. I know there's something on social media, and I saw it when it happened, of him pushing the refs or whatnot. I felt that was more emotional. It wasn't geared towards the ref at all. It looks like he was trying to get at the player that trampled him because he got tackled, and then like three dudes way after the whistle got blown came over and kept piling on him. So I mean, I would get fucking pissed if that happened and then there was no flag on that. So yeah, there was a little kind of skirmish that happened, and they were trying to break them up, and then ref from behind got pushed. Would there be any discipline? I don't think there'll be any discipline enforced, but yeah, some people are hyping that up, and it's part of the game, man. I mean, it is what it is. He wasn't attacking the official directly. It was just he's trying to get to a player that fucked with him, and so um, that's kind of where that stemmed from. But obviously, Shador is still the number one pick. In my opinion, Cam is 1B. He's fucking right there. And if we say number three, from certain projections, it looks like that Jacksonville will get Travis Hunter, and then Giants probably gonna get Shador, and then we might get Cam. It just depends how we end. So Giants currently have Tommy DeVito and Tommy fucking Cutlets in as their quarterback for the rest of the season, most likely. So it just kind of depends how they play uh, for the rest of the game. And they have a pretty hard fucking schedule. So I don't see them winning too many games um, in the rest of their schedule. So let's see who they have. Uh, but like I was saying before, that I see them moving up. They probably gonna get to a number one. Now, would they trade with us? I don't think so. We would have to give up a lot to flip flop. And at that point, there's always things can be done behind the scenes, back door. Maybe they come to an agreement and they get Cam and we get Shador. If we're 1 and 2, you don't know however that situation plays out. If Jacksonville's number 1, it was hard. I stopped. I didn't go. I didn't continue on to try to negotiate with Jacksonville to try to get up to that number 1 spot. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna want a lot getting to that number 1. And if they stay on if we stay on in the current position as 1, 2, and 3, us being 3, and Jacksonville being at 1, definitely gonna have both teams trying to bid to get up to that number 1, right? So it's gonna be whoever gives up the most is basically gonna get that number 1, right? So I don't know. This is really a situation where are you willing to bet the farm to get Shador, right? Because we're not gonna have to give up at least like at least the next 2 years of our future in number 1 to try to get Shador. So that is a decision that's probably going to have to be made by Tom Brady, Tom Telesco, Mark Davis, and Antonio Pierce. More Tom Telesco and Tom Brady, whether they're willing to go ahead and do that, give up most of their future to try to draft Shador Sanders. Now, the biggest thing, and I'll go into kind of the rumor mill, um, and I don't know if we got. I put out the tweet, and it's out there. So I mean, you guys can find that out of the interview with um, Ice Cube, where he asked Ice Cube, um, what would he do if he was in his shoes as a father, um, to try to support his son and continue on his career, right? So, obviously with that, um, you know, Ice Cube said, "Well, if he's in a Raider uniform, why not? So is Dion trying to, um, spark up some interest for a coaching position in the NFL? I don't know. It kind of seems that way. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. That to me, what I saw in that clip. And make sure you guys go on to JRaider_505 on Instagram, on X. They are on there. Uh, Check that out. But that's to me what it sounds like. So let's get into this. Let's get into the rumor mill.
Love rumors. Facts can be so misleading. Were rumors true or false are often revealing.
All right, the rumor mill. So yes, like I said, Ice Cube had the interview with Deion Sanders on the show, and Deion asked him, as a father, what would you do if you were in my position where you have a son that's trying to come up and be successful in the world in this field, right? And as he responded, obviously, well, I would do everything in my power to go ahead and support him and be the best person that he can be in that. And so, um, you know, Dion said, you know, what if it was, what if you're me, right? Uh, what if you wanted more? And Ice Cube said, well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by more? Right. And so the co host said, well, what if he goes up to the NFL and continue coaching his son? And so Ice Cube said, well, shit, if it's, why not? Especially if it's in a Raider uniform, I ain't mad at that. So, they slap hands and shit like that. And, there's a little bit more to that interview, but I mean, and basically Ice Cube praises him for being, a leader of men and a groomer man. and just an inspiration to young men and finding themselves in football. But if you really, if you really like break it down, and look at that. I mean, I think he wants to come over to the NFL. And there's been rumors that Cowboys want him, and they might part ways with Mike McCarthy because Mike McCarthy has been there for a while, and they have not been able to really get up on too far up in the playoffs scenario every year that they go, right? So they kind of plateau. I mean, we all fucking know this because they fucking suck, but they even suck more this year, right? And so Mike McCarthy might be on the way out, and now you have the whole rumor with AP that AP might be out, and that supposedly Mark is already looking for his replacement, and all this shit that's been thrown out there. I don't know how true that would be, right? But if it is true, you get Deion to replace him and bring on Shador as a prize. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, how much can you guarantee that? I don't think you can guarantee that at all, right? Where you have you bring on Dion as a coach, and then you're trying to get Shador as unless, like I said, unless that Shador doesn't go into the draft, registers registers himself as an unregistered draft free agent, and then he can get picked up by a team. That's the only way you're gonna do it. So you can circumvent the draft, right? Not enter the draft, but um, you're running a risk of not getting picked up by a team. Now, this is for Drew Sanders. I'm pretty sure he's going to get picked up. I don't think that's going to be the case where he doesn't get picked up by a team. There's only a few players that can pull that off, right? But for sure, I think Shadur Sanders being one of them, especially with Dion behind him, right? So that's the question. Like, is Dion trying to kind of, you know, wiggle his way into a coaching position of some sort? I don't know about head coaching. He has experience, right? Because he's been at Buffalo. I think what going on second year now. So he's been at Buffalo 2 years, and they have a pretty good record. Obviously, a different level at the collegiate level than it is at the professional level. So having him come over to the NFL is going to be a big step up. But I mean, he's been here at the player capacity, but obviously they're two different things. So I don't know. That's my take on it. I think he's just trying to wiggle himself to try to get into some type of coaching job in the NFL, where he can obviously still be a part of Shador and influence Shador the way that he can, right? So I don't know, but like I said, worst case scenario, if Shador gets picked up, it's Cam, right? Or vice versa. But let's say both of them get picked up. Let's say we go on a run. We go on a run and we won like four straight. We end up like 6-11, and we get knocked down to like number 7 or 8. What do we do? Who do we pick up, right? So I tossed around last week that name Jackson Dart from Ole Miss, and um, you know, Saturday he didn't look too great, and that was an upset. But you also have Curtis Rourke from Indiana, and he got upset by Ohio State. Um, but despite that, that's still like one loss, right, or two losses. So there's still viable candidates for them to come in and get picked up by the Raiders. So we just have to go up into that next best man scenario. So we have to have options. That's the thing. And we did this last year with Jaden Daniels. we were so fixated on Jaden Daniels, and we really didn't look into too many other options. And I just don't want that to happen this year coming up. There has to be another option at quarterback, and I think they know. I think Tom Telesco knows what's at stake. I think that Mark Davis has said we're going to go after a quarterback, and once that gets said by the head honcho, it's going to happen. Same thing has been said by Brady. Now he's part of the face of the Raiders too, and if they're both saying it, it's something that they are going to go for. So we'll see what happens with that. But excuse me, um, that's where I see it. So we definitely got to keep our options open. We can't just be so fixated on just Shadur Sanders or Cam Ward. There has to be a plan C, D, or F to try to go ahead and get another option at quarterback. Right? We do need a wide receiver. We do need a running back. We do need offensive linemen. We need a little bit more depth defensively. But I mean, it just depends who we keep in this next off season, um, and who goes, right? So who stays, who goes is going to be the key on who we're going to try to draft, right? So that's kind of what our next step here is. So obviously looking onto the future, looking out to the off season, picking up free agency, uh, it's going to be the focal point this off season. Now that's, and I'll be honest with you guys, now that's what I'm going to be talking about this off season in the upcoming podcast. Um, but yes, again, if you guys are tuning into this podcast, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button down below. Um, keep supporting the podcast. You know, we appreciate you guys. So for sure, make sure you guys hit the like button down below. Salute to Raider Rebel. Thank you so much for jumping on the live stream, brother. Um, I was just talking about Jackson Dart a little bit ago. I don't know if you heard that, but thanks to you, man. I give you all the credit, bro, because I didn't really know too much about that kid until like you mentioned him, and I actually started looking into that, and then I really see what he's doing at Ole Miss, and yeah, he fell short on Saturday. It kind of sucked, but um, you know, I think he's still a good prospect in essence. I like Curtis Rourke. He's another one. I know Carson Beck, I think, has been another name that's been thrown out there. So it just all depends who's you know who we go after, right? But like I said, there has to be a plan C, D, and F if we can't get Shador and Cam. But Shador and Cam are still the top picks, right? I think that's my opinion. Obviously, everybody has their own opinion, and that's good. And I want to talk about that. I want us just to really bring that up because sometimes, like me, like what Rebel was saying, that I'm fucking fixated on Shador and Cam that I overlook these guys. So, um, yeah, man, it's you got to keep your options open. We can't be short sighted that we just block out everything else. Something that makes sense and a player that um, is at a high caliber is what we want. Let's see here. So let's get a number one pick. Take Travis Hunter. Move it back up to take a QB, second or third round, or trade number one for some capital. So yeah, that's an option, brother. I think we just got to go for the QB first, and it just depends where we land. Um, I don't think we can get to number one. It's going to be hard. It's a possibility to get to number one. but I don't know if we're gonna get there. I think we're top is gonna be number two. We're at number three right now, and we're probably gonna stay there for a while, right? So it just all depends what New York does, what Jacksonville does. I'm running the Jacksonville game, so if anybody's going out there, let me know. We're probably gonna try to do a live show out there. We'll see what happens. I'm still planning that out. Um, but yeah, so um, we have that. But yeah, it just depends where we land at the end of the season. So I don't think we move up to number one. So we have to have contingencies. But yeah, let's see. Drew Allen, Penn State looks like it also good. Also, I haven't seen too much of Drew Allen, but that's somebody else that we can definitely go ahead and check out as well. Or Alar, sorry, Drew Alar. So, but yeah, um, I don't know. This was a hard game to watch, and a little tough pill to swallow that we had. We lost to Denver, but stat wise, before I hop off in a bit, um, let's talk about the stats for this game. Raiders had 369. Broncos 325. Passing yards, we have 300. Denver had 262. Rushing yards, fucking terrible rushing yards, 69 yards to 63. And it was obviously an air game the whole game. And yeah, we had the one turnover that kind of cost us the game in a sense. Um, you know, and we just couldn't come back from that. I thought we could, and because it was early enough, we had time to. It was like early third when the interception happened, and so I thought we had enough time to come back and you know put a good run together. But it's just we couldn't get it together. We couldn't. So I was told we couldn't score in the red zone. Nah, we couldn't score a touchdown in the red zone. So that all that compiled, it was hard. The time possession, another thing, and I say this every fucking podcast. The time of possession, y'all. Time of possession was 28 minutes. Denver had 31 minutes. We get better, but it's still, you could tell it's like still not at the point where it should be. So, um, let's see what Rebel has to say. Should have one since here had 5 ball carries, 33 yards, 6.6 attempts, only 5 carries. Bad coaching. Yeah, I agree, man. He looked good. I think at one point he was almost at 10. I think I think he can't gain like 1 or 2 yards a couple attempts. The last 2 attempts or something like that, and that's why that number went down. But I think they had him at 10. But yeah, he's a possible person that we keep on for next season, maybe second string. I don't know. He didn't look too shabby out there. So, Lob looked better this game. Obviously, I think we're all talking about that fake punt by AJ Cole to Diablo, that pass to Diablo. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't expect that. That was totally out of left field. And hey, it worked. I ain't mad at that, but yeah, man. It just was a crazy fucking game, and it is what it is. But hey, we go up in the draft order. We're number three, so we have that. But before I end the show, salute to you guys if you guys are still having a good time out there. Couple things here. So obviously we got the game on Friday, Black Friday game. Raiders versus Chiefs. So you never know what that game is gonna uh, happen. We fucking hate the Chiefs, and I would love to win that game, but I don't see us winning that game. Uh, but that's if we lose that game, we go down 2-10 for the season. Then we might move up to number two spot, most likely at that point. And yeah, or we might pull out another Christmas miracle and we might upset the fuck out of them. I don't know. It's just it's one of those games that just it brings it out of the team differently. So we got back to back divisional games, rivalry games. So that'll be interesting. So make sure you guys tune into that. But yeah, again, the keys to victory are not going to be any different. Um, we gotta hold these teams to under 20 points because the reason is that we can't score them more than 20 points. So why the fuck are we going to let them score more than 20? Hold them to 24. It doesn't make sense if you can't score more than 20, right? So holding them to 14, 16, 17, 20 points is going to be the key here, right? Um, you know, being consistent scoring offensively is going to be the other thing here. Rushing attempts, like Raider Rebel was saying, we didn't have any rushing attempts, so we got to have more rushing attempts. Um, but yeah, we we gotta do we gotta do the small things and just keep it consistent. Obviously, we're gonna see Ritter on Friday, and we're gonna see what he actually is capable of doing in a full game, unless they put AOC in, which I doubt it. So they're probably gonna bring it. That Ritter's gonna be it, and they're probably gonna move up Bradley, and AOC is still gonna be on IR for another week or so. Um, they're probably gonna try to do everything in their power to bring him back to see where he's at, and at least have him as a backup. So if AOC comes back, he might not play. He might be suited up, but he might not play. He'll be that emergency, like if these guys get fucked up, both Bradley and Ritter get fucked up, AOC will have to go in and just do it fucking best and try to do a handoff or whatever, run the ball most of the fucking time. I don't fucking know, but that's probably in the scenario that might play out too. He might just suit up, but I'm pretty sure tonight and tomorrow and maybe Tuesday, that's where they're gonna try to figure out, can he actually even suit up, right? So that might be the thing that comes into play. One thing for sure. Um, one thing for sure. Please, please, y'all, don't fucking start throwing out the let's fucking go get Daniel Jones talk and shit, because that dude brings no fucking value to the team, right? Especially with AOC coming back in about a week or sooner. Let's not do that. Let's stop picking up trash fucking quarterbacks. Let's be real, and let's end the fucking season on a high note. Let's not spend all this fucking extra money on shit that we don't fucking need, right? It's like fucking buying, these fucking little things that you see on the checkout stand, which, this impulse buy items at the checkout stand at Walmart, which we don't fucking really need, but you want them because you see them, right? It's just like, oh, look, it's fucking nice and shiny. It's cute, right? Let me just get it. It's not that much, right? But that money can be saved. We don't need Daniel Jones in here. Honestly, the only way that I would say bring on Daniel Jones if Ritter gets fucked up and AOC gets fucked up again, and then you have Bradley, then for sure bring in Daniel Jones. Who the fuck else are we gonna bring in? Unless you want to bring in Tannehill. Tannehill hasn't played all fucking year, right? then I could say bring in Daniel Jones. But you have three quarterbacks. You have two quarterbacks now, technically, right? Two of them are out, so you have two quarterbacks, um, and you have one coming back because he's coming back. AOC's coming back, that's for sure. So you don't need Daniel Jones right now. But if the injury bug gets to the other two, then okay, we could talk about it. That's a viable option because that's what we need right now, right? But we don't need them. So let's just make sure that we're not throwing that bad juju out there in the universe. We don't need that. We already have enough bad juju as it is to last us a whole fucking lifetime. Okay, but yeah, Raiders versus Chiefs Friday. I know usually we're used to seeing them on Sunday, but make sure you guys tune in. I think that is on Prime Video. So tune into that. And then as for myself and my team, we are doing the live show on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'll be broadcasting from this channel. And you can hop on Cheeto Linus' show. You can hop on New England Booster Jeff, and then also LV Raider 10. You can hop on 4 streams and view us and any one of your choice, but make sure you guys like and subscribe each one, right? So we're doing that show on Wednesday, and then uh, I'm probably going to be doing a live show again after the game on Friday for that Black Friday game. So make sure you guys are tuned into that. I'll probably put something out over the weekend on Sunday night. As far as on the flagship show, Just Raiders Baby podcast. So make sure you guys are turning on your notifications for that. I'm putting out the shorts as well. I'm about to post one up, so make sure you guys are subscribing to that. So as soon as it drops, you guys can watch that. It's fucking hilarious. I'm not gonna drop any hints, but it's fucking hilarious. Okay, and if you guys know, you know, type thing. So make sure you guys tune into that. But yes, this is the reaction show. I've been on for almost a fucking hour. I didn't think I was going on for that long, but thank you guys so much for joining me on this podcast. Make sure again, you guys are you like and subscribe. I'll be on live again Wednesday night, and on Friday after the Raiders Chiefs, we might do a show. We'll see what's up. We'll see what happens. Either I might do the live show by myself, or I might have one of the other guys jump on with me, and we do the same thing together. So, again, thank you guys for joining me. And again, just Raiders, baby. Peace.